Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there lived a wealthy merchant. He had earned his fortune through hard work and clever deals, but his wealth didn't bring him happiness. Despite having everything one could desire, he was always unhappy. One day, the merchant met a wise old man who, after learning about the merchant's dissatisfaction with his life, told him a riddle. "If you want to be truly rich, I can give you an opportunity," said the old man. "There is a magical lamp hidden away, and if you find it, your every wish will come true." The merchant, desperate to transform his life, agreed. The old man led him to a remote part of the city, pointed towards a rundown building, and said, "The lamp is inside that building, but beware the path to get it is filled with challenges that will test your greed." With that, the old man disappeared. The merchant, filled with avarice, rushed into the building. Inside, he found a locked chest. On its surface were written, "Take only what you need." Ignoring the inscription, the merchant forced the chest open, revealing a pile of gold coins. His eyes gleaming with avarice, he took all the coins, stuffed them in his bag, and hurried out. He then saw a magnificent horse with a golden saddle. "Perfect for pulling my carriage," he thought, taking it. Just then, a beautiful woman approached him. "I am the guardian of this place," she said. "You have taken more than you should have. Now I must take something valuable from you." Before the merchant could react, she took his eyesight. Blind and terrified, he stumbled out of the building, cursing his greed. He realized too late that the old man had tricked him. The merchant spent his remaining days in misery, regretting his actions. And so, the man who once had everything lost, everything because of his greed. This tale teaches us that greed can lead to the destruction of everything we hold dear. It's essential to be content with what we have, and not let the insatiable desire for more take away our peace and happiness. You might wonder why the merchant wasn't satisfied despite having achieved everything. The answer lies in understanding human nature. We are like dogs. The more we satisfy our desires, the more new ones arise. But unlike dogs, we don't have a limit. This constant generation of new desires stems from an unsatisfied soul. When our soul isn't at peace, we become unhappy despite having everything. To achieve lasting happiness, we must look beyond material possessions and understand that true contentment comes from within. The merchant in our story failed to do this, and thus his life became a never-ending cycle of wanting and despair. If you're enjoying these stories, please support us by hitting the like button. It will help our channel grow and allow us to continue sharing these wonderful tales. A poor man lived in a village. He was greedy and always wanted more than he had. One day, while walking in the forest, he came across a magic genie. The genie granted him 3 wishes, but warned him that it would also take 3 things from him in return. The man agreed. The man wished to become rich, and the genie made him a millionaire. But in return, it took his sight. Wishing to regain his sight, the man used his second wish, but in return, the genie took his hearing. Now, although the man could see, he couldn't hear anything. So when he made his third wish to be able to hear again, the genie simply asked, "Do you really wish to lose everything you have now?" Confused, the man asked for some time to think. After much contemplation, he replied, "Yes, I want to be able to hear again." Upon hearing this, the genie restored the man's hearing and vanished. The man was left with nothing, not even his riches or his senses. This story teaches us that greed can make us lose everything. Sometimes it's better to accept what we have than to risk losing it all for more. Once upon a time in a faraway land, there lived a greedy merchant. He loved counting his money and boasting about his riches. One day, while traveling to a neighboring city, he encountered a terrible hailstorm. Fearing for his safety, he ran into a nearby house to take shelter. Inside, he found an old man tending to his garden. The merchant, drenched and miserable, asked the old man for a place to stay until the storm passed. The old man agreed and offered him food and a warm fire. As they sat by the fire, the merchant couldn't stop counting his money. The old man, annoyed by the merchant's behavior, finally asked, "Why do you bother so much with your wealth? What good will it do you in the end?" The merchant, startled by the question, replied, "I need my money to survive. I use it to buy food and clothes. Without it, I would starve or freeze to death." The old man smiled and said, "You misunderstand. You don't need your money to buy necessities. I can give you food and shelter without it. In fact, I can give you much more." The old man waved his magic wand, and in an instant, the merchant found himself in a beautiful palace, with servants attending to his every need. The old man explained that he was a fairy who had tested the merchant's character and was disappointed by his greed. As a last chance, she offered him a deal. She would leave him in the palace with all its riches and luxuries. But if he didn't change his greedy ways, he would have to live the rest of his life as a frog. The merchant, realizing the error of his ways, promised to change, and the fairy left him in the palace. True to her word, the merchant spent the rest of his life as a frog. This story teaches us that greed can blind us to the happiness we already have, and that contentment is a virtue we should all strive for. Once upon a time in a beautiful garden, there lived a little girl who loved to chase butterflies. One day she saw a butterfly that was more beautiful than any she had ever seen before. It had wings of pure gold, and as it flew around, it sprinkled shimmering dust everywhere it went. The girl wanted to catch it so she could keep its beauty for herself. She chased the butterfly throughout the garden, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't catch it. As the butterfly flew away, it turned back and said, "Why are you chasing me?" The girl replied, "I want to catch you so I can own your beauty." The butterfly laughed and said, "My dear girl, my beauty is not mine alone. It belongs to the whole garden. If you want to enjoy my beauty, just sit back and relax." But the girl was greedy, and she wanted to be the only one to enjoy the butterfly's beauty. She continued to chase it, but the more she chased, the dimmer the butterfly's colors became. Finally, when the girl was exhausted and about to give up, the butterfly stopped on her shoulder and said, "Look inside yourself, child, and you will see that you are the most beautiful thing in this garden." The girl looked into her heart and saw that the butterfly was right. She was kind, caring, and full of joy. She realized that she didn't need to chase the butterfly's beauty because she already had her own. And that's the end of the story. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. Thank you for watching.